And I call this one zero animation budget. Rhymes with grug.
Oh, you're not even trying anymore.
I call this the definition of insanity. Rhymes with grug.
What was that?
Don't worry about it. Microwave again! Why would you? The product. Rhymes with grug. And I call this one Dr. Pepper. Rhymes with grug. Here, we can share. I call this one I call it dementia. Rhymes with grug. And I call this one The Shining. Here's grug. And I call this one Flint and Steel. Rhymes with grug. And I call this The Backrooms. Rhymes with grug. Grug?
Wait, no, don't leave me here! Anywhere but here! Take me back to Afghanistan!
I call it a plane, rhymes grug. I call it a cloning machine, rhymes grug. Oh no. I call it gorilla tag, rhymes grug. I call it Sonic with teeth, rhymes grug. I call it a cook, rhymes grug. I call it a fridge, rhymes grug. Hey, whatever happened to those other grugs? I call it the Grug Army, rhymes grug. I call it Space Godzilla, rhymes grug. Ah! I call it lightning, rhymes grug. Ah! I call it Jurassic Park, rhymes grug. I call it a car, rhymes grug. I call it New York, rhymes grug. I call it a goat, rhymes grug. I call it a Funko Pop, rhymes grug. I call it stone, rhymes grug. An ambulance, rhymes grug. I call it an exploding acorn, rhymes grug. I call it the BBC, rhymes grug. I call it Minecraft, rhymes grug. I call it a truck, rhymes grug. King Kong, rhymes grug. I call it grow a garden, rhymes grug. From the police, rhymes grug. I call it scary baboon, rhymes grug.
And I call this an ender pearl. Rhymes with grug.
What did I do to deserve this torment?
I call this Afghanistan. Why are we even here? That's the question we were asking for 20 years. I call it dementia. Rhymes with grug. I call this one the moonwalk. Rhymes with grug. If we could curse on this channel, I would be. I call this a peanut allergy. Rhymes with